Imagine this, you're sitting at your desk surrounded by piles of books, frantically flipping pages and trying to cram in as much as you can. You feel lost. One day you think you're getting the hang of internal medicine, the next day you realize you haven't even touched psychiatry, ethics or obstetrics and gynecology. Time is running out and you still don't have a clear plan. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. This is exactly what happens to most IMGs when they start preparing for AMC Part 1. The biggest mistake? Trying to study everything and ending up mastering nothing. But there's a better way. In today's video, I will walk you through a high-yield, evidence-based 3 to 4 months study plan that has helped many candidates pass this exam. This method is structured, efficient, and will save you from wasting months on unnecessary memorization. So if you're ready to master AMC Part 1 without burning out, stick around until the end because I'll be sharing a free AMC study tracker that will help you stay organized and on track with your preparation. You do not need to memorize everything to pass. You do need a structured strategy that prioritizes clinical reasoning over rote learning. And if you can follow this plan, you can pass AMC Part 1 in just 3 to 4 months. Before we dive in, if you're serious about passing AMC Part 1, tap the like button. It helps this video reach out more IMGs and ensures that you get more targeted content like this in the future. Before we get into the study plan, let's take a moment to understand what the AMC Part 1 exam actually tests. AMC Part 1 is a computer adaptive multiple choice questions exam designed to evaluate the clinical knowledge and reasoning skills of international medical graduates. Unlike exams where you can rely on brute force memorization, AMC Part 1 is all about applying knowledge in the real world scenarios, the way doctors make clinical decisions in Australia. Here's a quick breakdown of the exam. The total number of questions asked is 150, the test duration of 3.5 hours, and there is an adaptive scaling scoring system with a pass score of 250 and equivalent to a scaled score of 500. The questions cover the following subjects. Adult medicine, which is 30% of the total weightage. This is the largest chunk of the exam, so it's important to have a strong grasp of common internal medicine topics. Next comes the surgery. You don't need deep surgical knowledge, but you should be able to recognize surgical emergencies and pre-post-op care. 12.5% is carried out by psychiatry, a surprisingly high-yield subject that many IMGs neglect. Mental health is a core part of Australian healthcare. Child health includes neonatal conditions, growth and development, and pediatric emergencies. Likewise, obstetrics and gynecology is accounted for 12.5% of the total exam content. Another subject that's often underestimated but contributes significantly to the exam. Public health and ethics. The Australian medical ethics are different from many other countries, and they are highly tested on the exams. One of the biggest mistakes IMG make is spending months on internal medicine alone, while completely ignoring high-yield topics like psychiatry, ethics, and emergency medicine. Many candidates fail not because they lack medical knowledge, but because they focus on the wrong areas. The key to passing this exam is balanced approach to all subjects. Comment below what subject do you think will be your biggest challenge. Now that we understand the exam structure and common mistakes IMGs make, let's talk about the exact study framework that will get you exam ready in just 3 to 4 months. To make your preparation systematic and stress-free, I have designed a 3-phase study strategy which ensures that you are learning the right way and not wasting time on low-yield information. The first 6 weeks are all about building a solid foundation while actively applying knowledge through practice questions. We follow an MCQ first approach because reading theory without application is a waste of time. So how does the study routine for phase 1 work? In the morning, 2 to 3 hours, start your day by solving 20 to 30 MCQs from the AMC handbook or a reputable Qbank. After answering each question, use the why method. Why was my answer wrong? Why was the correct answer right? How can I avoid this mistake in the future? Instead of just reading explanations, take notes in your own words. This will improve retention. 2 hours in the afternoon, focus on high-yield topics that are often neglected: psychiatry, OBGYN, and pediatrics. Use Australian clinical guidelines to ensure you are learning the correct management protocols. In the evening, for 1 to 2 hours, review weak areas using Anki flashcards or Notion notes. Watch videos on ECG interpretation and clinical reasoning skills. Both are frequently tested. At the end of phase 1, the goal is to take an untimed mock exam to identify weak areas and adjust your focus moving forward. If this structured routine makes sense so far, hit the like button and let me know in the comments if you have started using MCQs in your study routine. Now that we have built a solid foundation in phase 1, it's time to take things up a notch. Weeks 7 to 12 are all about deep learning, high-yield reinforcement, and rapid decision-making. At this stage, the focus shifts from slow, detailed learning to timed practice and question bank mastery, which is what will ultimately determine your success in AMC Part 1. So how does the study routine work for phase 2? In the morning for 2 to 3 hours, timed MCQs and rapid decision making. Start your day by solving 40 to 50 MCQs under timed condition. Use a countdown timer. Each question should be answered in 40 seconds or less. The goal here is to stimulate real exam conditions, so no pausing, no second guessing. Once you're done, immediately review every question and even the ones you got right. Key tip: don't just memorize the correct answer. Instead, ask yourself, why is this correct? Why are the other options wrong? How does this concept apply to real patient care? In the afternoon for 2 hours, focus topic reinforcement. Now go back and review your weakest areas from the morning MCQ session. If you struggle with the emergency medicine, toxicology, or population health, dedicate this session to strengthening those topics. Use a mix of textbooks, online resources, and Australian clinical guidelines to reinforce your learning. Evening 1 to 2 hours, clinical reasoning and flashcards. Engage in case-based learning to improve clinical reasoning. Use flashcards for high-yield details like vaccination schedules, drug interactions, emergency management protocols, and red flag symptoms. Spend 30 minutes reviewing the common symptoms from previous mock exams. By the end of this phase, you should have completed at least 3 to 4 full-length mock exams. You should also be scoring consistently above 250 on practice tests. Most importantly, you should feel comfortable solving MCQs under timed pressure. At this stage, your speed and accuracy should be improving. Drop a comment, what's your biggest challenge right now? Time management, tricky MCQs, or staying consistent? Congratulations if you have made it to phase 3. You're almost there. These last 4 weeks are all about fine-tuning your performance, building confidence, and dominating the mocks. By now, you already have the knowledge. The key is applying it under exam conditions without second-guessing yourself. And the study routine is in the morning for 3 to 4 hours, full-length mock exams. Every 3 to 4 days, take a full-length timed mock exams, no pauses, no distractions. Stimulate the actual AMC environment as closely as possible. After each mock, take a break and then go back to analyze your mistakes. Key tip: don't just look at what you got wrong, look for patterns in your mistakes. Are you misreading questions? Are you overthinking simple concepts? Are you making last-minute answer changes? Identifying these patterns will help you correct them before the real exam. In the afternoon for 1 to 2 hours, targeted review of weak areas. After each mock exam, identify the topics you are still struggling with. Revisit these topics using short, focused study sessions. Don't try to re-alarm everything from scratch. Prioritize ethics, emergency medicine, and public health, as these are often frequently tested. For evening, around 1 hour, final revision and mental preparation. Review your personal notes, recall questions, and flashcards. Spend time reinforcing high-yield topics rather than trying to learn new material. Most importantly, focus on mental preparation. The mindset you take into the exam matters just as much as your knowledge. For final week checklist, take 2 full-length mock exams to gauge your readiness. Revise the most commonly made mistakes from your practice sessions. Avoid last-minute cramming. Trust the process and keep a clear mind. My mental strategy: at this stage, you are test ready. The difference between passing and failing is not how much you cram in the last few days. It's all about how well you execute what you already know. Go into the exam with confidence. Some of the exam techniques I would recommend: answer within 40 seconds per question. Don't dwell too long on one question. There is no review option. You must make your best choice and move on. No negative marking, so attempt every single question even if you're unsure. Some of the common mistakes to avoid: wasting time on a single difficult question. I say move on and come back later. Over relying on recall questions instead of applying reasoning. Second guessing and changing answers at the last minute. Final exam day tip. On the night before your exam, stop studying by 7 p.m. Relax, watch a movie or do something light. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep so your brain is fully functional. The worst thing you can do is exhaust yourself before exam day. Download the free AMC study tracker, a structured planner to keep you organized. Join my Instagram to see for AMC updates, connect with other IMGs and get valuable insights. I will also share the list of study materials in my Instagram channel. Subscribe and drop your questions below. I respond personally and may feature your questions in a future video. You can pass AMC Part 1. Just follow this structured plan. See you in the next video.